In this video, I'm going to be talking all about the Thermomix TM6. I'm going to take a look at the accessories that come with the Thermomix when you first buy it, what they're for, how to use them, and some top tips I've learned along the way. My name's Marianne and I am the owner and recipe developer at the food blog Mama Loves to Cook. Over there I share all my favourite recipes, including a lot of Thermomix recipes. So I'd love you to come over and check them out. Okay, let's take a look then at the Thermomix TM6. Firstly, when you get your Thermomix, it will come like this with the base and the jug in place. So let's talk about the base. So this is the part of a Thermomix where all the magic happens. Inside here you've got the motor, you've got all the software and electronics that make the Wi-Fi work. You've got the screen here, which is where you control the Thermomix, and also where you can access the different modes. And you can also access cookiedo, which is the recipe platform, and you can search for recipes and you can do guided cooking. And we're going to take a look at the screen a bit later and all the different modes. Now, the first thing to know, when you get your Thermomix, you're going to want to pull the cord out at the back until you get to the little sticker there, which shows that it's pulled out all the way. Now notice when I'm moving my Thermomix, I'm not dragging it. You need to be really careful. It has a handle on top. You can lift from the bottom. You need to lift it and put it down gently. The reason for this is that the scales are inside this part of the Thermomix and we don't want to damage the scales. Now when you're choosing where to put your Thermomix when you first get it, make sure that you have a nice flat surface so that the feet can be flat and even. You also want it to be not too close to any heat source, so not too close to your cooker. And also you want it to be in a well ventilated area. As you cook, steam will rise, so you don't want it to have a cover, like a cabinet over the top. The other important thing to know about the base is that it should not be immersed in water. So when you want to clean it, I just use a damp cloth and wipe it down. Don't let it get wet, because if you get water in this, then it will affect the motor. Now, all the other accessories we're going to look at today can all go in the dishwasher, which is amazing, but this should only be cleaned with the damp cloth. Okay, let's take a look at the mixing bowl. Now, the mixing bowl is where you're going to do all the cooking, weighing, mixing. It's shaped like a jug, but we call it the mixing bowl. And it comes in several parts. The first is the actual bowl. You've then got the blade, which is used to chop and stir and mix. Then there's the base that clips it all together. And then the lid and the measuring cup. So the first thing you need to do is to know how to assemble and disassemble your bowl. Now this is the blade, and it is sharp, especially when you first get it. Now the blade is designed so that it's sharp on one side and blunt on the other. This means that you can use it to chop and stir in one direction. And if you put it into reverse, it will stir without chopping. So if you're making something that you don't want, like risotto, you don't want to chop the rice or it will just go really mushy, then you will use it in reverse. Now you're going to need to know how to put it into the bowl. Always be careful holding it either by this end or this end, obviously not by the blades or you will cut yourself. It slots, see the little hole at the bottom, it slots into there. And then if you get your base, now on the bowl, you'll see it has a little emblem here about high heat. Now that little emblem, you can line it up with the lip on the base, and then I just take a hold of the knife holding the middle bit, the blade in the middle, and then you just push it together. I'm going to show you again because sometimes I just do this upside down because it actually works out a bit easier. So you put the blade into the hole at the bottom. You line the little logo up with the lip and then it just slots in together. And then you have the lid and the measuring cup that sits inside the lid. Now on the TM6, the measuring cup is designed so that it doesn't fall out. And this is really handy. With the older models, if you wanted to take the lid off to have a look at something, the measuring cup would always fall out. So that's a nice improvement on the newer Thermomix. The other thing to know about the measuring cup is it is a measuring cup. It has two little markers inside, one for 50 milliliters and one for 100 milliliters. So you can use this to measure. Usually when you're cooking, the measuring cup sits in top of the lid. But sometimes you'll notice that recipes will tell you MC off, which means you've got to remove the measuring cup while you're cooking. Before we move on to the next accessories, I just want to talk quickly about cleaning your bowl. Now within the settings, you'll find a pre-clean mode, which is amazing. To use it, you usually half fill the bowl. I usually just put in a drop of washing up liquid and then set it to go. Most things that when you're cooking, that will be enough to really give it a good clean, and then you just need to rinse it out. Some things like making cheese sauce, sometimes risotto, you're going to need to give it a bit of a better clean than that. And for that, I recommend getting one of these brushes. Now it looks like a toilet brush, but this one is actually a proper Thermomix brush from the Thermomix shop. However, I have used clean, obviously, brand new toilet brush to clean it. And the reason these are good is because they're round. And so it's easy to go around the bowl with it, and just a really good way, easy way to clean it. Always make sure though that you remove every time after you have cooked or done anything with it, remove the blade, because otherwise the little bit underneath here where it touches the bowl, you can get food stuck under there, and it will just get really gross after a while. So every time you use it, remove the blade, you can put it in the dishwasher, you can use your Thermomix brush, but always make sure you remove the blade for cleaning. Now sometimes, depending on what you're using it for, you can also get food stuck. As you can see, like the blade, there's little nooks and crannies under there. So the other thing I recommend is getting one of these little brushes. And they fit perfectly. This one again is from the Thermomix shop, so it's specially designed to fit under all those blades and get in all the little nooks and crannies. If you don't want to get the one from the Thermomix shop, I have also just bought straw cleaners from Amazon, and they do a pretty good job as well. Now another accessory that comes with your Thermomix is the splash guard. So there's the splash guard, and it's designed to go on top. And sometimes recipes will ask for it if you are doing certain recipes where they want the air to be able to escape, so they don't want you to have the measuring cup in, but they want to prevent splashing. In all honesty, in 10 years of being a Thermomix owner, I don't think I've ever used it, but some recipes do ask for it. Now this is the Simmering Basket here. It has its lid, and it's designed to fit inside the bowl. There you go, you can see it's a nice snug fit, and it's designed so that you can simmer or steam things inside the basket while having water in the bottom of the bowl. Now the spatula comes with the Thermomix, is also designed to act as a handle for the simmering basket. Now this is pretty cool. It means that obviously if you're steaming or simmering anything in the bowl, this is going to get really hot. So you don't want to be using your fingers to take it out. So that's why they've designed the spatula to be able to act as a handle. I also often just use this on its own as a sieve or as a colander, which is quite handy. Okay, so let's talk about that spatula. This is the spatula that comes with the Thermomix. Honestly, as a spatula itself, I don't love it. It's not very flexible and it's not that easy for getting food out from under the blade, I find. But as I've already shown you, it is specially designed to act as a handle for the simmering basket. And the other really cool thing about it is it's been specially designed so that you can stir through the hole in the jug while you're mixing. Sometimes, usually I find if I'm like chopping frozen fruit or something, it can get a bit stuck, and so you maybe sometimes need to stir through the jug while the blade is going. Now this has been specially designed, it fits perfectly, but this little bit here stops it going too far, and so it doesn't touch the blades. Don't try and use any other kind of spatula to stir, because chances are it will get chopped up by the blade. Whereas this one has been specially designed not to reach the blade. What I would recommend is buying a separate set of silicone spatulas that are super flexible, because they're much easier to get around the blades. Another accessory that comes with your Thermomix is the butterfly whisk. Now this is what the butterfly whisk looks like. And it is designed to act like a whisk for example, whipping cream, whisking egg whites, makes it a breeze. Now it is designed to fit on top of the blade. Now if you take a close look at the blades, you will notice that they're not all equal heights. One is higher than the rest, and one is lower than the rest. And the butterfly needs to go between those two, so on the blunt side of the highest blade. And it slots inside like that and just sits on top of the blade. It's easy to remove again. Now the most important thing to know about the butterfly is that it is only designed to be used at speeds 4 or below. If you try and use it above that, it might pop off because nothing's holding it in place and you could damage the butterfly. And lastly, let's take a look at the veroma. Now this is the veroma, and it's what we use for steaming in the Thermomix. It comes in 3 parts. There's the base, the tray, and the lid. But don't worry, can you see that? Don't worry if the lid doesn't fit snug. It's not supposed to. Now, as you can see, there are holes in the bottom. This allows the steam to come up from the bowl and steam whatever's in the veroma. Now, veroma, when we say veroma, it means both this piece, this accessory, and it also refers to the temperature within the thermometer here is also called veroma, and that's the setting that you need, that's the temperature that you need for steaming in the veroma. So it's really simple to use. It fits on the jug there, on the bowl there. You put your vegetables or your fish or your chicken or whatever either in this part, or if you need more space on there, put the lid on. And then we just need to select, if you have a look here, if you go all the way to the end of the dial, then you get veroma. And that's the temperature that we want to use. So for example, I might chop up some broccoli, put it in there. I'm going to set the timer to 15 minutes. I'm going to put that to veroma, and I'm going to put that on speed 1. I'm going to go away. I'm going to come back 15 minutes later, and there's my broccoli steamed and ready. So let's take a closer look at this screen. Now this is the home screen, and you'll see the 3 dials. And these 3 dials are what you will use for cooking. There's the time, the temperature, and the speed. And you'll find when you use recipes that they tend to use that order for instructions. Now you can use touchscreen, you can also press the button to move from one to the other. On the speed, so you can set your temperature, your time, then you can set your temperature, and then once you turn the dial for the speed, it's going to start the machine going. And you can just stop it by pressing that button. Now the speed will start at the little wooden spoon, which is just a very gentle stir, and you can put it all the way up to number 9. Now, if you see the little blade picture there, when you click it, you get a little green arrow in reverse, and that is reverse enabled. So remember we talked earlier about the blade, how it has sharp on one side and blunt on the other. For some recipes, you don't want to be stirring using the blade because you don't want to turn things to mush. You don't want to chop up chicken, for example, too much. You don't want your risotto to go all mushy. You'll use it on reverse. Okay, so when you first get your Thermomix, you're going to want to go into settings. You can choose your language, your country. You can set up your Wi-Fi so that you can access cookiedo, and you can connect your cookiedo account. Now, I really would advise you when you first sign up to cookiedo, do it on your phone or your laptop. And then when you get your Thermomix, you can sign into your cookiedo account on the machine and it will be connected to your app. When you first buy a Thermomix TM6, you get 6 months free access to cookiedo, and then I think after that it's around 50 Australian dollars per year. Gives you access to around 60,000 recipes. If you're new to Thermomix, it's probably a great way to get started. So yeah, I would really recommend using the cookiedo app if you're searching for recipes. It's much easier. I find it much easier to search on my app. You can then bookmark recipes, you can make collections, you can add to cook tonight or cook this week, and then all that information will be transferred onto your machine automatically. If you want to search for recipes on your machine, you just hit the little search button in the top, and then you can type in. So let's say we want to cook some chicken. We can just type in. Sorry, I'm a bit slow because I'm doing this behind. Chicken, and then search. And it's going to come up with lots of different chicken recipes that we can choose from. Now you can go, ooh, Korean fried chicken, that looks nice. Let's take a look. It will load it. You can scroll down and look at what ingredients you need. You can have a little look through the instructions. Now you can choose to cook it now. Or you can save it for later. And if you decide you want to start, let's have a look at how the guided cooking works. You press start cooking and it's going to tell you, place 2 garlic cloves in, and then you would hit next, and then it's going to say add the ginger. Next, insert the measuring cup. And then you can see it automatically gives you it has all the settings already done for you, so you don't need to do anything. All you need to do is to turn the dial to get the speed started. So from the home screen, if you want to access the other functions, you swipe to the left, and then you're going to see all these different functions here. Let's take a quick look. Okay, you've got the scales. Now the scales allow you to measure directly into the bowl, which makes it really quick and easy when you are cooking. Now, if like me, you just you started the scales when you had the lid on, you take the lid off and suddenly you're like, oh no, it's not at 0 anymore. You just hit the tear button and it's back to 0. Now you can either weigh into the bowl while you're cooking, or you can also use another bowl. I'm just using this for now because it's next to me. You could place any bowl on top, hit the tear button, take it to 0, and just use it as normal kitchen scales that way. So that's the scales. And then I'm not going to go through all of them. Go through and play yourself and see what they all are, but I'm going to talk you through some of my favorites. Now this is the dough setting. This is one of my most used settings. It's one of my favorite things about the Thermomix is how it kneads dough. It will make pizza dough in 2 minutes, which is just amazing. And so yeah, all you need to do is put all your ingredients in there. You decide how many minutes to go for, and then you hit go with the dough, and it just, 2 minutes later, you have pizza dough or bread dough or whatever. What else do we have? The pre-clean function is a lifesaver. I think we talked about it a bit earlier. It allows you to pretty much clean the bowl for most things. Some things are a bit more stubborn, but I use it after every time I use the Thermomix. I use the pre-clean function. There's also the egg boiling function. There's the kettle. There's thicken for making custards and things. There's the rice cooker. There's fermentation for making yogurts and cheese. You can use it as a slow cooker. You can use sous vide. There's the peeler that you will need an extra accessory for that. And the grating and slicing again, you'll need the Thermomix slicer for that. But I encourage you to go in, have a good look around yourself, have a play. It's a wonderful machine. I'm sure you're going to absolutely love it. And yeah, that's it. That's the Thermomix TM6. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Drop me a message. And I'd love you to come over and check all my Thermomix recipes over on my food blog, mamalovestocook.com. Thanks for watching.